Are the Montreal Canadiens truly prepared to gamble their carefully constructed future on a player whose past is as riddled with question marks as it is with highlight reel goals? It's a question that echoes to the hallowed halls of hockey fandom, as the perennial Patrik Laine trade rumors have once again found their way back to Montreal, igniting a fresh wave of speculation and debate. For a franchise in the midst of a painstaking rebuild, the allure of a talent like Laine is undeniable, a siren call promising offensive fireworks. But beneath the surface of that tantalizing potential lies a complex web of high costs, injury concerns, and a track record of inconsistency that could either elevate the Habs to new heights or derail their carefully laid plans. The whispers began to grow louder, fueled by reports suggesting that Patrik Laine is firmly on the Canadiens' radar. This isn't just another fleeting rumor. It feels different, more substantial, hinting at a bond that ties the Finnish forward to the storied Montreal franchise. The narrative is familiar. A team desperately seeking a reliable goal scorer, a market hungry for a superstar, and a player with immense talent, but an equally immense question mark hanging over his head. For years, the Canadiens have been searching for that elusive offensive punch, a consistent threat that can light the lamp with regularity. Laine, with his cannon of a shot and innate ability to find the back of the net, represents that dream, that missing piece that could theoretically transform their attack. There's an undeniable magnetism to Patrik Laine. When he's on his game, few players in the league possess his scoring touch. He can unleash a one-timer that makes goalies flinch, a shot that seems to defy physics as it rockets past them. His offensive instincts are elite. His ability to create space and finish plays is precisely what every team covets. For a Canadian squad that has often struggled to generate consistent 5-on-5 offense and power play production, the idea of slotting a player of Laine's caliber into their top six is incredibly appealing. Imagine him on the wing, feeding off the playmaking of a Nick Suzuki or Cole Caulfield, adding a dynamic layer to their attack that has been sorely missed. He's still relatively young, with prime years ahead, and the thought of him finding his true, consistent form in a hockey-mad market like Montreal is enough to make any fan's imagination run wild. Mark Dumont, a respected voice covering the Canadiens, has repeatedly highlighted this connection, noting that Montreal will always be linked to players of Laine's profile, young, offensively gifted, and capable of generating significant buzz. The city craves a star, and Laine certainly fits that mold. However, the rosy picture quickly gives way to a more complex reality when you delve into Laine's recent history. His tenure with the Columbus Blue Jackets has been a roller coaster of exhilarating highs and frustrating lows. While flashes of his brilliance have been evident, consistency has been a persistent struggle. He's battled injuries, spending significant time on the sidelines, which has undoubtedly hampered his ability to find and maintain rhythm. These aren't minor bumps and bruises. They've been significant setbacks that raise legitimate concerns about his long-term durability and availability. For a team considering a substantial investment, the injury history is a glaring red flag, a constant reminder that even the most talented players are only as valuable as their ability to stay on the ice. The inconsistency, too, is a point of contention. There have been stretches where Laine has looked disengaged, his offensive prowess seemingly dimmed, leaving fans and coaches alike wondering where the electrifying scorer had gone. These periods of underperformance, coupled with the injury woes, are precisely why Columbus might be willing to consider moving him, despite his talent. Then there's the elephant in the room, the cost. Patrik Laine carries a hefty contract, a significant cap hit that would require Montreal to make substantial financial gymnastics. Acquiring him wouldn't just be about salary. It would almost certainly mean sacrificing valuable assets from their burgeoning prospect pool or parting ways with high draft picks. The Canadiens are in the midst of a meticulous rebuild, carefully accumulating young talent and draft capital to build a sustainable contender. Giving up a significant piece of that future, perhaps a promising young defenseman, a future top six forward, or a coveted first-round pick, for a player with Laine's recent track record is a monumental decision. It's a move that could accelerate their timeline, but also carries the inherent risk of setting their rebuild back years if Laine doesn't pan out. Columbus, understandably, wouldn't simply give him away. They demand a king's ransom, and Montreal would have to weigh the immediate gratification of Laine's potential scoring against the long-term vision they've so diligently pursued. The very persistence of these rumors speaks volumes about Montreal's chronic need for a true game breaker. For decades, the Canadiens have sought that elite, consistent goal scorer, often falling short or seeing potential stars move on. This isn't just about Laine. It's about a deep-seated desire within the organization and its fan base to once again boast a truly dominant offensive force. The appeal of an impact name that can reignite fan excitement is a powerful motivator, especially in a market as passionate and demanding as Montreal. But is Laine the right player to fill that void? Can he truly be the consistent 40-goal scorer the Canadiens desperately need, or will he be another high-profile acquisition that ultimately falls short of expectations? The tension between hope and skepticism is palpable, a classic Montreal dilemma. From a rival's perspective, like ours here in Pittsburgh, watching the Canadiens navigate this potential acquisition is fascinating. Any move that a division rival makes, especially one involving a high-impact player, has ripple effects across the Eastern Conference. If Laine were to rediscover his elite form in Montreal, it would undoubtedly make the Canadiens a more formidable opponent, adding another layer of challenge to an already tough Atlantic division. Conversely, if the gamble doesn't pay off, it could leave Montreal with a significant financial burden and a depleted prospect pool, potentially slowing their ascent and giving other teams, including the Penguins, a competitive advantage. It's a high-stakes poker game, and the Canadiens are holding a hand with both potential aces and dangerous wild cards. So, as the season approaches and the trade winds continue to swirl, the question remains, will the Montreal Canadiens make the bold move for Patrik Laine? The possibility of seeing him don the Habs' iconic jersey is enough to fuel countless discussions and ignite fervent debates among the fan base. For now, Montreal's management remains tight-lipped, but the interest in a player of Laine's profile is undeniably real. If the Blue Jackets stumble out of the gate, the chances of a significant trade could increase dramatically. Patrik Laine's name continues to be one of the hottest on the market, and Montreal, as always, is being touted as a plausible, albeit risky, destination. The stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome could profoundly shape the Canadiens' trajectory for years to come. Will they play it safe, or will they roll the dice on a player who could either be their savior or their undoing? What are your thoughts on this potential blockbuster? Penguins fans, do you think Patrik Laine is the missing piece for the Canadiens, or is he too much of a gamble for a team in rebuild mode? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth hockey analysis.